right, welcome back, ladies and gentlemen, to the GSL Code S semifinals. We have had a bunch of awesome games today, Wolf.
We really
it is
have.
not even over yet. There are two competitors, MMA on the left, MVP, I'm sorry, Happy. This was the last I am.
We have a lot of M's.
A lot of M's. I am Happy, I am MVP, MMA, Ganji. Wait, that doesn't have any M's.
Wait a minute.
You know what does have an M though? Metalopolis, which is going to be our next map. We're going to be starting in just a moment. It's a tie series right now. Both players really want to get that game 3 so they can be up 2-1. MMA is the favorite. Is he going to come out ahead, or will Happy overcome like last game? We're going to find out. All right, here is our red Terran from the Team Slayers. He is the favorite in this series, but he lost the last game.
Slayers MMA.
There he is. I think it really did come down the entire game to those 20 seconds, 15 seconds where he had siege mode and Happy didn't. And he just didn't attack. And here's his opponent. Played a little bit sloppy, but still came out ahead last game.
I am Happy.
It'd also be called I am going gas first because he's going gas first this game.
He needs to change his ID.
And, well, I don't know. He oftentimes does not go gas first. I wouldn't change his ID. But if you asked him what he was doing, he said, I am going gas first. Of course, he is. And MMA appears to be doing One Barracks Expand, which has become so popular.
Yeah, it's become really popular. It's relatively safe.
Yeah.
Especially in TVT, if you really need to, you can wall off and you can be okay, especially if you scout and see what they're doing.
If you're going gas first and you want to do Banshees and you want to do drops, what are the best positions on Metalopolis to be in? Close air positions. We're in close air positions, so things are looking good for Happy for his opening that he's done. And of course, MMA is going to have to. When you go for One Barracks Expand, you have to be prepared for everything. You have to be prepared for Reapers jumping into your base. You have to be prepared for the Banshee killing all your Marines. You have to be prepared for Cloak Banshees. You have to be prepared for Blue Flame Hellions. You have to be prepared for that
You have to be
crazy
prepared for
Viking
roaches,
tank attack.
brood lords. Oh wait, no, not quite.
Not Broodlords. Sometimes roaches. Not in TVT, but when you go for One
Not in
Barracks
TVT.
Expand, you got to be careful about those roaches.
Got to be careful of accidentally running into the Manx statue.
Got to be careful.
Oh, is he gonna raise that
he
depot?
Actually,
Oh, he needs to raise that depot. Raise the depot. Oh,
he was just playing with him. I think he actually, I actually think he may have intentionally left it lowered so that he might catch the SCV if he went for it.
maybe.
Of course, with
It's true
the vision.
because
With the vision, though, I don't know if he would have even been able to know if it was down.
Well, but the thing is if he right-clicked in MMA's base,
yes.
it would have gone another direction. It wouldn't have gone up the ramp if there was no access there. So leaving it down until it went on the ramp would have kept it moving that direction.
Yeah, I think it was intentional.
So I think you're right.
Well, the starport is on the way. So is the tech lab. We're going to be seeing Banshees coming up from Happy. Most likely just a Banshee expand. Really good to do on this map. You have a 50-50 chance of being close air positions with your opponent, which makes it a strong build. Even if you're cross positions, Banshees are still quite good on this map.
Oh, is this one going to get in, though? Oh, he doesn't see that one coming. It does get in, and it's going to see everything. Including
the reactor on the barracks.
Including the 2 gas.
Double gases. He sees it all. And Happy has really been able to do a great job of scouting this entire series, I have to say.
Should have left his depots up, man.
Now, something interesting is occurring here. Happy has actually rallied his Hellions with his Marines. He's going to send Hellions, Marines, and his Banshee to attack all simultaneously at the front. Which is pretty smart given that he saw the reactor there. He knows there aren't going to be very many Marines out. Right now, in fact, there's only 3. And there's going to be 5 out when this attack hits. It's not a lot.
Yeah, the MMA's not going to have
this actually could end,
anti-air.
this could end the game. He's not making a bunker, man.
He does have a starport making, so he might be able to get a Viking out eventually to deal with the Banshee, but it's not going to be soon enough. The Banshee is out.
this actually could just end the game, guys. I'm serious. MMA is going to have a total of 7 Marines when 2 more pop out here in just a second, but there are 3 Marines, 3 Hellions, and a Banshee to contend with them. There's going to be a tank out fairly soon, but if you can keep the Banshee alive, that tank's not going to mean a whole lot. Here we go.
Oh, beautiful positioning. Happy pushing up here. He's moving his Hellions in. He's being a little bit cautious, but he gets a nice flame off on a clump of those Marines. He's going for the SCVs now, but his Hellions get trapped, but the SCVs are actually the ones that have been trapped, and a lot of them go down.
The reactor taking a lot of hits here. He may end up getting it. He needs to pull back. And the reactor is going to be repaired here. Nice defense by MMA, but even so, he lost a lot of SCVs. 4 to be precise. He damaged a lot at the same time. The Banshee remains alive. He's got his command center, his natural. It's finished.
That actually could have, like you said, it could have ended the game. MMA just somehow pulled out of that without losing very much. I think part of it was because Happy was like attacking his buildings instead of his forces, and his Hellions weren't staying with the rest of his units. I thought he was just going to use the Hellions to clean up the Marines, and then
that's what he should have
finish
done
with his own Marines.
In my opinion, in that attack, if he had actually focused with his Hellions on the Marines and cleaned that up, he would have been able to kill the tank and then would have been able to just end the game. But he decided to go for the SCVs instead.
And he only killed 4, so it wasn't really worth it. So brilliantly defended by MMA, a little bit poor of a decision, I guess, by Happy the way he executed that attack.
I would agree.
But Happy still is, like you said, he's got his expansion up, still doing fine.
Yeah, he's doing absolutely fine. He's actually going to have Blue Flame when these Marines come up here, and he actually doesn't know the Hellions are there. Oh, the Blue Flame wasn't quite done.
Oh, nice. Hellions go down to those Marines, and MMA is looking to counterattack here.
Yeah, this actually is going to be the best decision MMA could have ever made. He's got the supply lead right now. He's got a much better army.
Now this time...
Oh, look at this. Happy actually has pulled his command center immediately. He knew what was going on. Fighting with Vikings and Marines, not a good choice by MMA.
Now this time, MMA does have siege mode, and this time Happy is nowhere near siege mode, so MMA can really lay siege to this. If he moves his tanks a little bit, actually, those buildings are in a good position where he can't hit them unless he goes into the natural of Happy. Cloak being upgraded by Happy as well, so he's going to try to use Cloak to try and counter these tanks.
He's going to try. The siege has commenced. MMA has control of the ramp, and this is... In any matchup, if your opponent has siege tanks controlling your ramp, that means any units you send down are going to get clumped up and are going to eat siege tank fire.
Now
those arc-light cannons are not kind, man.
No, they're not. Now this is what MMA should have done last game. He's putting up a soft contain and he's expanding to a 3rd.
Yeah.
Beautiful idea, beautiful move. And Happy's going to be able to push out and probably break this contain when Cloak finishes, but MMA's going to have 3 bases.
I mentioned the arc-light cannon. I now looked. The new siege tanks are called the Crucio Shock Cannon. I can't believe I forgot that.
Arc-light cannon was StarCraft 1.
Yeah, man, it's the Crucio Shock Cannon. I'm sorry for all the nerds out there who probably were like, Wolf's wrong. And I'm glad that the nerds out there who didn't know now know. So I guess it was a 2-pronged sword. 2-pronged sword, actually, that's the wrong way to say it. It's like a 2-pronged sword. It's like a bident. That's my 2-pronged sword, man. It's a bident. It's like a snake's tongue.
By the way, if we ever do make the mistake on calling a unit the wrong name, or calling a weapon the wrong name, we always call units the wrong name sometimes, just slip of the tongue. But go ahead and tweet at us. I am at Moletrap, and you are now at ProxyWolf. Yeah,
I changed my Twitter ID to ProxyWolf. You guys can follow me there. Tell your friends to follow me, tweet at me. This Banshee is doing a ton of damage because MMA does not have any scans, or excuse me, Happy does not have any scans.
And he got a little ahead of himself, moved out with his extra command center, and actually landed it to take some siege.
He actually landed that command center, I think, to scan. No, actually he has... he actually has enough. He had enough to scan on both of those. Yeah, it was a little bit weird. Surprised he didn't scan a long time ago. Anyways,
so the containment continues, and MMA has 3 bases.
He's got 3 bases. He just took out one of the depots of Happy at the natural. And MMA is continuing forward here with a lot more units. It's just set up the sickest contain. There's no way to break out. He even has air control. There's no way to move units out with medevacs.
Yeah, and Happy is completely depending on Cloak Banshees to break these tanks.
But I like what MMA has, what Happy has done is he's made 2 reactor starports. So he's actually making basically only Vikings at this point.
Interesting.
To get that air control that he needs. He's got to be very careful though. He doesn't have siege tanks, and that's one thing that he would like to have to really defend this.
That's what I was saying, is he's depending completely on Banshees to kill the enemy tanks. And that is not going to be necessarily the best defense, since there's a lot of turrets up now as part of this contain.
Yeah, even when the strength of Banshees in most cases with Vikings is that you can clean up units, but if your opponent tries to rush down with his Marines and kill the Banshees, there are siege tanks there. But in this case, there are no siege tanks, so if he scans and runs forward and doesn't kill the Banshees, then the worst thing that happens is he doesn't kill the Banshees. But he doesn't lose all of his Marines, and MMA is still being extremely cautious here, though.
He's actually just building. This is like
the hardest to contain ever known to man.
He's putting a ring of turrets and tanks around Happy's base. This is like watching someone trying to end a game on BGH or something like that.
MMA is actually hold that thought.
Oh, here comes the break. This is his last chance. The Vikings are landed to kill the SCVs. So many Hellions.
There's so many siege tanks. Just cleaning up all the units there, and
GG.
MMA was in his booth, and he was like, all right. He actually changed modes into siege mode, MMA, and he put up turrets and sensor towers, and put all of his Marines in different locations, and he's like, I'm in siege mode now, you can't move out?
Yeah. Exactly. And siege mode was not just something his tanks were doing, it was his entire strategy.
Yeah. He actually went into siege mode MMA, and Happy, he couldn't land, he couldn't get out of his booth to close the distance and stand next to him, so it's too bad. That's what happened.
Nope. Did not happen at all. So MMA is now up 2-1. MMA is on the verge of victory. He only has to win one more game
to go and avenge his teammate.
To go and avenge his teammate in the finals like he said he wanted to do.
1 game away. Can he do it? The next map will be Crossfire. A very interesting TVT map. A lot of the time we see Marine tank on this map.
Yeah.
This is how it ends up being, because tanks are really strong on this map, but because of the way the map structure is in the center, it's really easy to run around with mobile units like Marines. So you see kind of a mix of Marines and tanks. Sometimes you see Marauders mixed in as well, but Marine tank is very strong on this map. Bio can be strong if used perfectly, but it's still an inferior composition. It's still very hard to use, especially if you try to engage in the middle where there are all those ramps and choke points. It's almost impossible to make it work.
There's only a few spots on the map where Bio can actually work, because most of the map is ramps and chokes. So it's really difficult to pull that off.
You have to just have perfect multitasking. You have to harass every expansion. And it's sometimes you see a long 2-base versus 2-base on this map, because that 3rd base is so hard to take safely on this map. Only if you really have control of the center. Those watchtowers, those 2 watchtowers in the middle of the map are so important.
Yeah. And then, of course, sometimes we see like MVP versus is that Keen or Noblesse or something like that on this map, where he's just like on 2 bases. He set up a siege line in the middle of the map and was like, you know what? This is going to be a 45-minute game and there's nothing you can do about it. And just sieged up the middle of the map because it's so easy to, because it's so narrow in the middle. And then just took all the bases on his side and went for BCs and stuff. And was like, all right, let's just get to the late game and get it over with.
This happens a lot on this map. I can't stress you guys enough how important the watchtowers are. If you hold the watchtowers, you have vision. Your tanks can do whatever they want, even if your opponent has Vikings.
Are the watchtowers important?
They are, man. Even if your opponent has Vikings, you have vision because you have the watchtower.
So you're saying that the watchtowers are important on this map?
They're very important, man. I can't stop talking about them.
It's because I keep asking. But we are going to get underway in game number 4 here. MMA is 1 game away from securing victory. I'm hitting the table. I'm so excited to see this match. Happy needs this game to come back. We're going to find out who is going to win in just a moment here at the GSL Codex.